so excited that you are back for our series, The Commandments. It's been a crazy ride. We've heard of some amazing commandments, and just a reminder that these commandments, they're not just for us to memorize. We want to make sure that these commandments are getting inside of our heart, that we put God first. We worship Him only, so that these commandments are in our heart, and these are ways to live. We want these ways to live so that we can better know Christ, and in that way, we will become closer to Him and more like Jesus. So let's review. We've been talking about a guy named Moses who he freed the Israelites from 400 years of slavery. 400 years, that's crazy. But God appointed Moses as that amazing leader. Now, Moses freed the Israelites, and they were able to go to this place that God had told them about, which was the promised land. But on their way to the promised land, God gave them just some guidelines, some ways to live right versus wrong. And He gave them the 10 Commandments up on Mount Sinai. So today we're talking about our 5th commandment. And our 5th commandment, are you ready for it? Is obey your parents. So let's see what Exodus chapter 20 has to say about obeying our parents. It says, honor your father and mother. Then you will live a long life in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Now this commandment is different than all of the other ones. God gives us a promise, a blessing. He says if you honor your father and mother, you are going to live a long life. Isn't that awesome? Why wouldn't we want to honor mom and dad? Now, there's also some other verses in Ephesians. Ephesians even talks about how we should obey our parents. It says, children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord. For this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you and you will live a long life on earth. I mean, come on, who would not want to live a long life, right? Just by honoring God first and then honoring our father and our mother, we are able to live a prosperous and amazing life. Now, sometimes we think we can do it on our own. Sometimes we're like, I don't need parents. I don't need to obey them. I don't need to honor them. So let's pretend that this plate is like a life without parents, and this marble is you. Maybe sometimes you think, oh, Jaws, that movie, that's not even scary. I am totally fine. Uh-oh. Okay, but then maybe you're like waking up the next morning crying yourself to sleep, right? A life without guidelines sometimes can make you scared. Now let's pretend maybe you really want some candy. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll have like a bag of Skittles and a bag of Starburst and a Snicker bar and the Three Musketeers. Okay, and then you wake up the next morning with this huge stomachache. A life without parents, a life without guidelines can be really hard. God put our parents there for us to help us live a safe and protected life. Now let's pretend this bowl is like a life with parents, right? They're protecting us. They're keeping us safe. Even when we think we can eat all that candy, they just limit us to maybe 1 or 2. And then, because they know what's gonna happen. They know that we're gonna get a stomachache. And so they wanna protect and guide us. You guys, God put our parents in our lives for such an important reason. And so we must honor God. We must put Him first and honor our dad and our moms. Now, maybe when I was talking, you were like, oh no, Miss Rachel, I thought of a time, just one time, that I might have disobeyed mom or dad. Now, maybe you could talk with your parents. Maybe ask them for forgiveness. Say, Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry that I didn't listen. You were so right. I had nightmares for a week. I wet the bed. Hopefully you didn't. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it happens, right? But anyways, we want to make sure that you are honoring mom and dad. So talk with them. Maybe make a list of ideas, a list of ways that you could honor mom and dad better this week. Hey, don't forget about that sheet of paper. There's going to be 5 questions at the end of this. You're going to answer those 5 questions. You're going to put your 5 answers right here. And then you're going to bring it to whoever is your leader at the River Valley campus. Once you do that, you will receive your medallion. And once you receive all 10, only if you receive all 10, then you'll get a prize. The prize is amazing. You're going to want it. You're going to need it. You're going to like it. You're going to love it, okay? So don't miss out on a single week. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
These 10 commands are not just written on a stone. These words are written on my heart. These 10 commands, not just rules that I won't break. These words have left me rearranged. These words have left me rearranged.